Thanks so much for being with us this noon hour. It's the case that's grabbed the attention of the entire country. Jury selection is now underway in the murder trial of Kyle Rittenhouse. He is the still teenager charged with shooting 3 people, killing 2 of them during riots in Kenosha after the police shooting of Jacob Blake last year. Andrea Albers has been following the developments in court today. She joins us from our newsroom. Andrea?
Jury selection is expected to last 2 days, which is relatively fast when you consider how big the jury pool is and the exposure this case has already received. Judge Bruce Schrader opened with a little bit of lightheartedness, calling out Jeopardy questions as potential jury members were getting settled.
National Historic Landmarks for 1200. The first Confederate capital is in this Alabama city.
After more than 30 minutes of Jeopardy questions while potential jurors filtered into court, everyone took a seat and the official work began.
We're looking, of course, at whether anybody's biased. We also are going to look at some other factors that may work into whether you're suitable to sit as a juror in the case.
Jurors will be focused on deciding if Kyle Rittenhouse was acting in self-defense or is guilty of murder. 150 people have been summoned, and the goal is to seat 20 jurors. That includes alternates.
I took a larger number than usual because this trial is going to last a couple of weeks. That's what the lawyers tell me. I suspect they're probably estimating a little bit on the high side, which is what I want them to do.
34 potential jurors are being questioned in earnest inside the courtroom.
Number 21, is that your number, sir?
Each time someone is excused for cause, another potential juror from the audience will be added. Some excusals could be sparked because of the immense attention this case has drawn. The judge also pointed out it became politicized along the way.
Is there anybody who hasn't read or heard anything about this case?
A handful of potential jurors told the judge they would be unable to completely disregard anything they'd seen or heard about the case and rely solely on evidence presented. Outside the Kenosha County Courthouse, there is a visible increase in police presence and security. In a statement put out Friday, the Kenosha County Sheriff says these measures are meant to ensure the safety of the public that has legal business in and around the courthouse campus, as well as Civic Center employees, while maintaining the integrity of the trial. As the morning wore on, some people arrived to make their voices heard on the courthouse steps. And the court is about to adjourn for lunch break, but we know already this morning at least 10 potential jurors have been dismissed. Jury selection will resume later this afternoon and continue into Tuesday if necessary. Reporting from the newsroom, Andrea Albers, TMJ4 News.
Andrea, thank you. The Rittenhouse case oftentimes seen through a political prism, with many people already having made up their minds. We talked with legal expert and attorney Patrick Cafferty and asked him about how that could impact this jury selection process.
People on the right have looked at this and said Rittenhouse should get a medal for what he did. People on the left have said Rittenhouse is the poster boy for everything that's wrong with gun culture in the U.S. There doesn't appear to be people in the middle who really haven't made up their mind. So if that's going to be the focus of the two sides, you may well have the state attempting to identify people who vote Democrat and the defense attempting to vote or to identify people who vote Republican. Now, a judge isn't going to allow them to say, hey, how did you vote in the last election? So the lawyers are going to be left with information that's available publicly about individual jurors, but also you will likely see them identify where the jurors come from.
Now, Cafferty also pointed out that while the city of Kenosha tends to lean Democratic, communities outside the city, particularly west of I-94, are more Republican. Cafferty will be joining us live every morning to break down the Rittenhouse case, any developments from the day before, and look ahead. That's all on TMJ4 News Today. As the Rittenhouse trial gets underway, a look back at how we got to this point. August 23rd, 2020, a Kenosha police officer shot Jacob Blake. 2 days later, Kyle Rittenhouse traveled to Kenosha during the protests that had turned violent and shot 3 people, killing 2 of them. On August 27th, Rittenhouse was formally charged with homicide. Fast forward to January 5th, Rittenhouse pleaded not guilty in court. Shortly after, apparently met members of a far-right group called the Proud Boys in a bar and posed for pictures. October 25th, a pre-trial hearing. The judge barred prosecutors from referring to the men Rittenhouse shot as victims, but may allow defense to call them looters. That brings us to today, where the jury selection process began. Our partners at Court TV will air the trial of Kyle Rittenhouse. Starting today, you can watch the gavel-to-gavel coverage live on over-the-air channel 4.3. We will also have coverage on TMJ4 throughout the trial, with our Stephanie Haynes reporting on the latest daily developments from court.